Good evening, everybody. Thank you for waiting. Welcome to the We Meditate Tuesday evening meditation session. My name is Gabriel, and this is
Kes.
So you've probably seen this dynamic duo before, and today we will be talking about attention. We often work with our attention in our meditations. We ask to put it in specific places on the body, specific places above the head, and onto specific chakras or subtle centers. So today we will have a small introduction as usual, and afterwards go a bit more into how we can really empower that attention and use it in a manner that doesn't allow it to digress from topic to topic, but to keep it supple, straightforward, and subtle in its intention and course. So, first of all, what we're doing here, as a small introduction to those who are coming for the first time, this is We Meditate, and what we practice here is Sahaja Yoga meditation. Sahaja Yoga meditation started about 50 years ago in the subcontinent of India and was brought to us in the Western world by Shrimati Nirmala Devi, who is in the portrait over here. Now, she composed and visioned a subtle system that has 7 chakras in a hierarchical manner, running from the base of the spine to the top of the head, as well as 3 channels that run side by side to these chakras. Now, these chakras cater towards our physical, spiritual, and mental well-being, whereas the channels themselves act as the brake, accelerator, and you can say the clutch of our body. The left-hand side is the brake, the right-hand side is the accelerator, and the sweet point that we usually try to go towards is a state where we know how to use both the brake and the accelerator in tandem and in a synchronous or harmonious manner. So, today we'll be talking about the attention, and the attention is located in a specific part of the subtle system. It's located on our right channel side, because the right channel caters, of course, the acceleration. It's to do with how our attention radiates outwards, and it's to do with our interaction with that which is outside. Now, also, if you have just double check that you have your mic muted, so there isn't any additional interference or white noise from your behalf. But of course, if you have questions at any point, do feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. If you're on Facebook or on another social media live stream service, we'll try to answer your questions afterwards, as we are performing this live stream via Zoom. So also join us through Zoom if you want to. So, the attention is located on the right channel at the base of the right channel. And at the base of the right channel, as you might remember, is the Swadhisthana chakra. The Swadhisthana chakra is the one that constantly oscillates and moves around the center of the Nadi, also known as the Manipur chakra. So it is a chakra that is in constant motion. It is moving around, it is unsettled, and has a constant motion to it. Yes, somebody probably has their mic still on, so in case it's just double checking that we're all muted. Perfect, thank you. So in our meditation, it's key to be able to bring this Swadhisthana chakra in control, because more often than not, it's either too lethargic, meaning that it can't really grasp onto anything, it's slow in action, it's viscous, thick, and slow. On the other hand, on the opposite spectrum, we can have a Swadhisthana chakra that is extremely overactive, that jumps from a topic to a subject to a theme in constant succession without pause. And it's really hard to keep up to those that just jump from topic to topic to topic. So the Swadhisthana chakra is much like a horse that we have to break, if we have to use an analogy. It can be uncontrollable, it can move us into spaces unforeseen, it can really make or break our day, but if we know how to focus our attention and use it in a manner that is in harmony with the rest of our subtle system, it can also be our greatest asset. But in meditation, there's a few ways we can really bring that attention into control. But first of all, it's key for you to recognize the state of your attention to see whether it is more of a lethargic attention or, on the other hand, a overactive attention. And then cater the right antidote to your personal and natural state and bringing it into balance. And during the meditation we will be having afterwards, after the initial self-realization meditation, Kes and I will just show you a few tips of bringing that right side into balance, or on the other hand, energizing that left side and making your attention just a bit more active and not too slow. So, the gross organ of the body, the physical organ of the body that much caters towards our attention is the liver. So the liver, which produces the fat cells for our brain, which kind of consumes all this oil and goody goodness when we eat food, it can become quite overheated. Now there's also, you might have noticed, it's one of the most obvious signals is that what we eat caters much to how our attention acts. So, very simple example, any tea, coffee, sugary soft drinks, anything that has a activating potential in the caffeine, it heats up your liver and really unbridles your attention and unshackles it, and it kind of spreads everywhere. Sometimes you need that kick and boost to really get you working and focus on one thing, but sometimes it's just doing a lot of nothing with a lot of energy. So it's about finding that balance once again. On the other hand, you can also eat foods that are cooling down, that bring your attention slow and steady. And that's food that are a bit more simple, food that are also sugary. So of course, if you notice, if you eat lots of carbohydrates, those make you, nice and comfortable and cozy and take you into a very slow state. So it's also key, as you might have already tested yourselves in your day-to-day diets, that what you eat is also what controls your attention. So that's on a very gross level, you can try and control it by yourself. Now, if you've noticed that you have a very overactive liver that produces heat on a physical level, and you can also feel that you're a bit more irritable, frustrated, and prone to bouts of anger sometimes, it's also good to try and see if your right channel is overactivated in that case. And a simple antidote you can write down for yourself on your checklist is using a ice pack. Now, we've probably mentioned this before, and you can also find it on our We Meditate website's extra tips and tricks part. In addition to a foot soak, you can also slap an ice pack on yourself, or best to slap it on your liver if it's too overheated. So these are simple, practical ways to take care of our attention. But most importantly, when we get that attention to control, it is a preliminary part we have to take care of before we get into the actual meditation. Because if our attention is running out and about, if it is still stuck on the outside and we have difficulty bringing it inside, then we will more often than not be in a state of thoughtful awareness, not thoughtless awareness. So it's important to really upkeep and see where your attention is going. Be aware of which object it latches onto. And that's a whole other topic in itself, that being how your intention and your attention cooperate. So that's also one thing you can do, is be aware of where your attention goes, because that more often than not informs what your left side is feeding into your right side. And that's a balance of intention and attention. And then it's to be able to pull back your attention when you notice it going down alleys or pathways that could lead to negative cyclical thoughts, to be able to then latch it back and bring it within and close to your spirit. And the spirit is a center point or a key point or a foundation that you can really bring your thought again and again back onto. And that is a point that really nourishes your full being. As you've noticed, we always start with the heart and we also end with the heart because it's the nourishing aspect. So, without further ado, was quite a fast run through of a few key topics. Hopefully, there's a few things you could take home from that. If not, you can always ask questions after the initial meditation, and Kes will also reiterate the important points in the second part of the meditation this evening. So let's sit tight, sit comfortably, check that we're sitting in a fairly leisurely but not strict manner, and Kes will take us into the nice part of the evening. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Gabriel. So just before we dive into the first meditation, I would like to mention a few key things, essentially. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our right hand and place it on different parts on the left side of our body. Why right hand? As Gabriel has explained, right hand represents the right channel, which is in charge of all the action, which is the accelerator. And why the left side of our body? Simply because it's the decelerate. It's the channel of desire that contains our emotions and all the potential energy. So first we'll place it on our heart, then we'll bring it down on the left side of our abdomen, then we'll bring it all the way down to our left hip, then we'll bring it back onto our heart, then up on the left side of our neck, just where our neck meets our shoulder, in between here, where the trapezium is. Then we'll bring our hand across our forehead. And finally, we'll stretch out our palm and place it on top of our head. And as we do this activity, this meditation, it's very important to have your attention within and to really see for yourself what you feel, and we'll say certain affirmations throughout. And it's important to say those affirmations without really thinking about them or really analyzing them, but just really seeing them for what they are and just say them. And in the second part of our meditation, we will focus on attention, which is located here, as Gabriel has described, on the right side of our body, just below the right abdomen, here on the right hip. And after that, we will observe where our attention is and see if we can really tap into this state of thoughtless awareness, which is essentially having no thoughts and being in the present moment. So I invite all of you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. So we can begin by sitting straight, closing our eyes and relaxing our body. Let us take a few deep breaths. And as we exhale, we can feel all of our bodily muscles as well as our facial muscles relax. We can place our right hand onto our heart, and this is where the left heart energy center is located. And here we can ask a simple question: who am I really? We are asking ourselves again, so just having this inner dialogue with ourselves. Who am I? Who am I really? Can place our right hand on the left abdomen. And here we can affirm, verily, I am my own master. I am my own teacher. can bring our right hand down on the left side of our hip. And as Gabriel has mentioned, this energy center is in charge of our desires and the knowledge that is produced by those desires. So here we can address this motherly energy that lies within us, which in Sanskrit is known as Kundalini. So we can simply say to ourselves, Mother Kundalini, please reveal the true knowledge about myself. Please allow me to understand myself, and as a result, to better myself. Mother Kundalini, please grant me the pure knowledge about myself. We can bring the right hand back onto our heart. And here we can take a few moments to listen to our heart, to really feel the pulse and the heartbeat, the throbbing of our heart. And once again, here we can affirm, Mother Kundalini, verily, I am not this mind, I'm not these emotions. I'm not the product of my physical appearance or of my thoughts. In essence, I am the pure spirit. The pure spirit of compassion and love, above all else. Mother Kundalini, verily, I am the spirit. Let us bring our right hand up on the left side of our neck. And we can take a few moments to see if this area feels tense. We can slightly massage it so that it relaxes a bit. And this energy center gets clogged when we feel guilty. So here we can say, Mother Kundalini, verily, I'm not guilty. How can I be guilty if I'm the pure spirit? I am not guilty. And again, we can repeat this several times without analyzing or thinking about it. Just saying it as a fact and seeing it if it works. Mother Kundalini, I am not guilty. Let us bring our hand up across our forehead, and here we can gently rest our head in our palm. And here we can repeat, I forgive. I forgive myself as well as everybody else. I forgive. You can repeat this a few times again. And let's just try to forgive without thinking about the person or about the thing that we are forgiving for. We're just forgiving and letting go. I forgive. Mother Kundalini, I forgive. I forgive myself as well as everyone else. I forgive my thoughts, my mistakes, and my emotions. I forgive. Finally, let us stretch out our palm and place it on top of our head in the middle where the fontanelle bone area is. You can try and locate it, and if you press it downwards, it's rather soft, this fontanelle bone area. And here, as we press gently downwards, we can massage our scalp in a clockwise manner. So clockwise being left, forward, right, in circles. And at this chakra, at this energy center, all the previous 6 energy centers come together and all of the qualities manifest. So here, the affirmation is very simple. We can just humble down and ask this all-pervading energy, Kundalini, this motherly energy, to grant us self-realization, to be able to experience the living on a more subtle level. Mother Kundalini, please grant me self-realization. We can raise our hand 10 centimeters above our head, 5 or 10 centimeters, and observe if we feel any sensations coming up from the top of our head. We can move our hand around, left, forward, right. We can bring down our right hand back to our lap. We can check with our left hand as well by bringing it above our head and seeing for ourselves if we can experience any sensations whatsoever. If not, it's fine, as the sensitivity tends to develop over time. We can return our hands to our lap, and we can, just before we move to the second part of this meditation, we can ask ourselves, where is my attention? Is it within or is it without? If it's still wandering about somewhere else, we can just bring it back in. We can do this simply by taking our right hand, cupping it, and bringing it all the way up, starting at the bottom of our subtle system in front of us, and very slowly bringing it up. We may repeat this a few more times. And now we can take our right hand and place it on the right side of our hip. This is the right Svadhisthana chakra, as Gabriel has talked about earlier today, and it essentially governs our attention. So if we think too much, or if we overexert ourselves, or if we drink too much coffee, for instance, this energy center overheats, and as a result, our attention goes away. So here again, we can ask Mother Kundalini, please steady my attention. Please cool it down. Please bring my attention to the present. You can bring your right hand back to our lap, and we can take a few moments to observe our subtle state and see whether we can experience any sensations on our fingertips or our palms. Once again, it may be cool or warm sensation. Even if it's warm, don't worry. That means that our subtle body is cleansing out and there is nothing to worry about. And once again, we can pose a question to ourselves. Where is my attention? Is it within or is it without? Is it lingering outside? If we still have any thoughts bothering us and not allowing us to enjoy the present moment, we can just say, not this, not this, and let this thought pass, rather than inviting it for a cup of tea. if we are ready, we can slowly open our eyes and conclude this meditation.
Shall we raise Kundalini Bandhan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
So usually before we start the meditation, but when we also finish a meditation, what we do is we kind of tie up that attention to the top of the subtle system by keeping our left hand like so and rotating the right hand around, symbolically tying the attention once, twice, and thrice. Then we move our right hand in a semicircle around the body 7 times to signify the 7 chakras. So, thank you for joining us this evening. If you have any outstanding questions on the attention, where it is in the body, how it's located, practical tips on identifying whether you have a lethargic or active attention, and tips on how to cool it or heat it up, please feel free to unmute. And also, if you've been meditating during the week, or you've had experiences, or you feel a certain way, just ask away and we'll try to figure out and identify how you're feeling within and see how your chakras are balanced. So feel free to unmute or comment in the chat.
I believe there are some messages popping up.
Yeah, thank you, Kes, for the meditation. That was supremely relaxing.
Thank you. That was very lovely. Can you just explain a little bit more about cooling down or revving up the system a little bit more?
Yeah, so much about the cooling down and revving up of the system is linked to also our left channel and our right channel. So on the We Meditate website, there's a bit more about balancing the channels, and it's very much to do with also the Swadhisthana and the right nabi where the attention resides. But one way to really cool down the attention, if you feel that it's hard to focus on one thing, I've personally noticed, and it's a very great tip, is to place your attention onto the color green and onto nature. Nature in itself has a coefficient that can be very calming, soothing, and allows you to kind of release any pent-up excess heat by just focusing. For example, right now when it's spring, it's a fantastic time to get out about, sit on the ground, be in contact really with that nature and with that blossoming greenery that's all around. And when you really immerse yourself in all of that, that can really cool down your attention. So for me, I found that to be very effective. And also just ice pack as well. So actually placing something cool on your body is a simple method to also bring down the attention. To heat it up, it's a matter of also diet. So you can focus on more a protein-rich diet can heat up your attention, as well as consuming, of course, caffeinated substances. On the other hand, you can also use your hand, as we've been using our hand to place it on different parts of the body. If you're feeling a bit more lethargic, one trick is we can show with Kes, is with your right hand, you lift up your left side. Oh, I'm sorry, actually lift up right side, put down left side. Yes, other way around. So you lift up your right side and put down your left side. And you do this with a kind of certainty and a silence within yourself. So you're kind of bringing up that right side and then putting down that left side. So that's just to really counteract any kind of excessive weight that might be drawing you down to the left side, keeping that away and balancing it by bringing up your right side, so your right channel.
Mhm.
So that can be a very simple method also to try. For example, before I go to sleep sometimes, if I notice that my mind is racing around, one tip is to do, actually, no, sorry, that's when you want to cool yourself down.
Mhm.
So if you want to cool yourself down, bring up the left side, put down the right side. If you want to rev yourself up, simply bring up the right side, put down the
Oh,
left
okay.
side.
So, and is it always with the right hand?
Yes, correct. So with the right hand, yes.
So you do if you want to cool down, like settle your mind before going to bed. So
Mhm.
you'd go up the left side with the right hand and down the right side.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, because
Correct.
that's always good to have something to help you sleep and just settle you.
For sure, for sure.
Also, a practical advice for the use of ice pack. Please don't use it straight after eating. Give it perhaps an hour or even longer for the food to digest, because otherwise you might throw your liver off balance, which is essentially being preoccupied with digestion.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
True. I'll double check the comments to see if there's anything else. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have a question too. This is Neha this side.
Yes, please ask away.
Yeah, so in the wrapping up exercise which we did, when we were doing left to right 7 times and we wrapped it from bottom to up, what were you trying to do at that time?
Oh, as in, what are we doing then?
Yes, yeah.
Aha. So, but it's essentially called raising the Kundalini. So, actually, we didn't really clarify it in the beginning of the meditation. But in Sahaja Yoga, we work with the maternal and internal energy of Kundalini that's located at the base of the spine. And when we foster a silent state within ourselves, that is a conducive environment for a Kundalini to raise and rise through our chakras, bringing our centers into balance and to the top of the head. So, what we do when we finish the meditation with raising like this and rotating with right, it's essentially to keep us in that certain meditative state even after we go back to whatever we were doing before. So it's kind of aligning ourselves once again on the center channel. And then moving the hand from side to side is called giving a bandhan, which in Sanskrit could be translated loosely into English as a binding, bonding, or a protection. So that's essentially giving a protection to ourselves by paying attention to each chakra in the body. So, for example, when I give myself a bandhan, I try to place my attention on the specific areas of the body where the chakras are located. So, the base of the spine for the Muladhara, then slightly above near the navel for the Swadhisthana, then the navel itself for the abdomen for the Nabhi, then the center of the chest for the Anahat chakra, throat for the Vishuddhi, forehead Agnya, and then keeping it here on the top of the head for the Sahasrara. So it's a movement of attention once again through the body up to the top of the head and keeping it there. I hope this explains what we did at the end of the meditation.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. It was lovely. Thank you.
Most welcome.
The comments.
Oh yeah, there might be something. It was a clarification from somebody else. So feel free to ask away if you have any further questions. We'll be here for a few more minutes.
I had a question just around, it was really nice timing with this. I've got, I'm trying to work on not wanting to smoke at the moment. And I wondered if there was anything specific around addiction or just pangs that you would suggest. It sounds like this is kind of the right realm.
Is it much then void, would you say? Kind of void and right Swadhisthana acting together? How would you?
Yeah, well, the habits in general can be quite tricky. But usually if you meditate, if you practice this method of meditation from our personal experience, from my own personal experience, all the habits that you have the desire to get rid of, they eventually drop out one way or another. I used myself to smoke before I really was meditating on a regular basis. And at some point, smoking just became something repulsive, and yeah, the need for it just dropped out. It might sound like a magic trick, but actually, it works like that without really you trying or using your willpower too much. It just happens, changes within you. But in terms of energy centers, I would say foot soaking every night before bed and really meditating, sincerely twice a day would do the job within a month, perhaps.
I'm struggling if I do too much meditation. I'm afraid it's actually like probably making me a bit too kind of what you're describing when it's too fast or a bit agitated. So I'm not doing, I've had to sort of reduce the amount I do. So I don't know whether there's a suggestion around, I don't know. I'm finding it really intensive, which has been amazing in terms of releasing a lot, especially on the left channel, but it has also brought around quite a lot of shifts. And I've heard that it can be quite full on initially.
How long have you been meditating for regularly?
I've been doing the guided meditations with you guys and then doing the YouTube videos that you have. I've had to reduce doing it. I was doing like the 15-minute ones that you have on your website.
Oh, yes.
And then doing a more intensive one, either with one of your recorded previous sessions.
I guess it's also a matter of getting that meditating together. So, for example, these moments are very great for kind of having that cohesiveness you can get with meditation. I was thinking about our course that we have in Amsterdam. Do we have a beginner's course or intermediate course starting?
No, the
Only after
beginner's
fall.
course September. Yeah.
That's a shame, because we have a very lovely course that's finishing up actually now at the end of spring. But we can send you a link about it if you want to drop your email, which goes. It's a very kind of sustained way to go through a meditation practice, and that allows you to kind of build up day by day on each chakra and each channel. But to answer your question, or I think I'm looking for a clarification, is it that when you meditate, do you feel that it's too much, or do you feel agitated afterwards, or what was the
No, I feel relief, definitely. And I've
Okay.
sort of had quite intense sort of heartache for quite a while, and it's actually kind of caused quite a lot of release. But I suspect that maybe has been quite a negative way, that sort of heartache has been quite grounding. So kind of having that feels like a breakthrough, but it brings about quite a lot of exhilaration, and then that becomes quite hard to manage.
So yeah, so it's about clearing the left, but it also kind of there's a bit of a movement from side to side, you would say.
Yeah, particularly effective has been the putting the right hand down and asking to sort of Mother Nature to absorb negative emotion, and it's been sort of very experientially correct, or whatever,
Yeah.
evident. Yeah.
So
But
definitely.
I mean, it's just that if I get exhilarated, I then want to smoke, which is a bit like feels a bit counterintuitive after meditating. But
Oh, okay.
so would you say that this meditation, in terms of the liver and cooling, I've kind of heard that that's good to reduce sort of
The
agitation and anger?
Yeah, so you can test. So since what we're showing is kind of like a toolkit, you can then test in yourself and see what works and what doesn't. So you can try, for example, when you're feeling kind of exhilarated and energetic, you can try then bringing down the right side to counterbalance that effect. You can try a bit of an ice pack if you have, or putting something on the liver if that allows you to cool down. If it really feels like it's something that might be hard to, if you feel like it's really drawing your attention out and it's supremely difficult to latch your attention back in, a really basic trick is to focus, of course, on the exhale and inhale of your breath. As basic as it might sound, if you can sustain that for a few minutes, drawing it through the nose and then out through the mouth, that should bring the right side into balance, because the power of the right side is in prana, and prana is essentially the life breath of the body. So when you're able to master that, then you're able to also withdraw your attention into your subtle system. So that can be something that you can test out. see if it works. However, I would also very strongly recommend, as you already said before, meditating on the Mother Earth. You can try also both hands on the ground. You can try both hands on the ground and just on a patch of grass or somewhere in nature. And you can once again ask the Mother Earth to draw away any obstructions, negativities, excessive heat and weight out of your body. And that should hopefully help to really discharge anything that might be lingering within or throughout the subtle system. So that's, I guess, two things you can try, or three things.
And just to say it again, what you said today, was it please please focus my state, or what were the couple of things that you said during the meditation?
Was the affirmation kiss? You can say, please calm my attention, I guess, Mother Kundalini. Please
Yeah.
calm my attention would be
Steady my attention, I think you said.
Steady my attention, yeah.
Soothe my attention.
Mhm. You can also put it into words, and that also makes it a bit more, personal in that case. Yeah.
Also, have you tried foot soaking as part of your meditation before?
I've done it once so far.
Oh.
I wasn't sure whether to do cold or hot water. That was one thing.
So
Good one. Yeah.
that's another tip. So it depends on your state. So for example, if you feel agitated and exhilarated, it would be advisable to use cold water. And then if you feel lethargic, left-sided, passive, then warm water is preferable. So yeah.
And we usually foot soak. we usually foot soak at the end of the day because that really helps to kind of reset the system, so to say. And it's really noticeable after a few consecutive tries. It does really wonders to the inner state of things. So it's like a straightforward, nice trick to test out and see how you feel.
Do you put anything in the water for the foot soak, or is it just pure water?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So on the We Meditate website, I think there's a clear way of how to do it, but essentially you need a tub, hot or cool water, and a handful of salt. And just
Salt.
drop that in there and then soak your feet in there. And on the side, you should have a canister or a cup of clean water you can wash your feet with, and just something to dry it off. That's about it. So, and you can sit there for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then you can also say the affirmations while you have your feet soaked in the water, and you can test how you feel.
Yeah. Is hot water the best before bed then?
So hot water, if you want to clear the left side, I guess it can make it quite comfortable. So there's some people see it slightly differently, but myself personally, using hot water helps me to sleep.
Yes, yeah. Cold water wakes me up.
Yes, exactly. So you can think about dunking your head or splashing your face with cold water. It gives you that, wait.
Okay, I'll try that.
It's a very
Thank you.
powerful treatment. I would thoroughly recommend it.
Hello, Trevor.
Soaking.
Hello.
When I foot soak at night, I get really sleepy and I'm almost falling asleep. How do I stay awake? Also, so are we meditating when we're foot soaking, or are we just relaxing? I mean, it's told to me both ways.
That's a great question, actually. So if we're being very technically correct, no. Foot soaking is more clearing. Foot soaking is clearing the subtle system, and after we've foot soaked, we usually sit down then for another 5 to 10 minutes to then meditate. So there's the preparatory cleansing and balancing and settling yourself, which is then followed by the meditation. If you're feeling really sleepy, then I would suggest just foot soaking, I guess, a bit earlier.
आपको फोन चाहिए खेलने को?
We have some extra dialogue, so
It's gone off now.
don't mind that. Yeah, but if you're feeling extra sleepy, also just maybe do the foot soaks, not too late before you go to sleep. Just like time it a bit earlier.
Okay, thanks.
Hopefully it helps. Let us know if it helps. If not, you can then try the different temperatures of the water. And but most importantly, it's to create that sensitivity of your own inner balance and seeing what's good for you. Because all these tips we give, it's really, you have to find the tailor way to suit it to your purposes. And that's to know how you are inside, to know thyself. So whatever we tell you, really hope you that you try to first see how you are within, and then use the right antidote, use the right method. Of course, we're here to answer any questions and try to, suggest right things in that way. So yeah, let us know how it goes, and hopefully you can send us an email or a message if you have any further questions.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. This was lovely timing for me. I'm really grateful.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
You mentioned your a course.
Yes, so we usually have a beginners, intermediate, and advanced course happening. We're here in Amsterdam, so it could be a bit different
Hi.
from the UK, but it's online, so it doesn't really matter where you're from. I believe our next beginners course is, I think, sadly starting in August or late July. So there's going to be a bit of a delay before that starts again. However, we will be sending a message across on We
Okay.
Meditate before it begins again, to
Okay,
let
that's
everybody
lovely.
be
I
knowledge
lived
about it.
I lived in Haarlem for many years.
Really?
Ja, ik
That's
spreek ook Nederlands.
Uh,
So it would be nice. It would be nice to come back to Holland to do the course. But
yeah. If Corona's gone by late summer, I'm guessing we'll have a hybrid version where we'll have it in our center in Amsterdam as well as online. So then you're more than welcome to join us.
oh, that's
person.
fabulous. Well, thank you very much, guys. It was really great to join you tonight for the first time, and I shall be back. And
Fantastic.
as we say in Dutch, tot ziens.
Doei, doei.
Okay, doei.
Much.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Ciao, ciao. Mm-hmm.